Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking on what honestly might be the modern era's ultimate heroic quest, and that's the journey from a standard 9-to-5 employee to a wildly successful, independent solopreneur. Now, it's a path filled with massive rewards, sure, but it is also completely scattered with hidden traps. So if you're ready to transform that side hustle into a full-time reality, well, you're gonna need a map. Okay, let's dive into this. Could your side hustle actually get you fired? Look, it's the unspoken fear that keeps so many aspiring business owners awake at night, right? You're out there putting your heart and soul into building this dream, but there's this lingering dread of losing your primary income way before you're actually ready to let it go. To navigate this safely, we're gonna follow a chronological roadmap today. We'll start with protecting your day job, then validate and plan your finances, beat burnout with systems, look at the AI automation advantage, and finally, making that full-time leap. Let's get into it. Step 1. Protect your day job by knowing your legal boundaries. Let me be super clear right up front. Skipping the legal basics is literally the easiest way to derail your entire dream before it even gets off the ground. You absolutely have to check your employment contract for a few specific clauses. For instance, exclusivity clauses might actually mean you need direct permission from your boss to do any other paid work. Then there's conflict of interest, meaning you basically can't compete with your employer or accidentally poach their clients. But honestly, the biggest trap here, intellectual property. If you're building your side hustle on a work laptop or using company software licenses, or heaven forbid, building it on company time, your employer could legally claim rights to every single thing you've created. So setting those boundaries is absolutely essential. And this brilliantly illustrates the dividing line between when you actually must disclose your side hustle and when you can safely keep it under wraps. If your contract explicitly requires permission, or if you're in an adjacent industry, or maybe you work in a heavily regulated profession like finance or healthcare, yeah, you need to tell them. On the flip side, you really only want to stay quiet if your contract is completely silent on the matter, and your hustle is in a totally 100% unrelated field. Moving on to Section 2. Validate and plan your finances. Building that crucial safety net. Listen, jumping into a full-time business without testing the market first is just a recipe for disaster. According to data from CB Insights, a staggering 42% of startups fail for one very simple, very avoidable reason. There is just no market need for their product. Before you take the leap, you have to validate demand. Run a few small marketing campaigns, use platforms like Etsy or Upwork, and basically just prove that people will actually pull out their wallets and pay for what you're offering. Once you've validated that idea, you need a hard, undeniable financial plan to calculate your break-even point. It's pretty straightforward. Just add your personal living expenses to your business expenses, and that equals your minimum monthly revenue goal. Seriously, you cannot replace your salary until you know this exact number. And keep in mind, it's strongly recommended to stash away 3 to 6 months of living expenses as a buffer before you even think about handing in that resignation letter. All right, Section 3. Beating burnout with systems, surviving the crucible. Now we are facing the ultimate dragon of our hero's journey, which is the downright exhausting reality of working 2 jobs at once. Research actually shows that over 60% of entrepreneurs, 63% to be exact, have experienced or are currently experiencing burnout. And this is primarily driven by those intense financial concerns, a total lack of work-life balance, and just massive day-to-day stress. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how burnout manifests physically and mentally in some pretty dangerous ways. It's not just about feeling a little tired at the end of the day. It's clinically defined by deep cynicism, a crushing feeling of ineffectiveness, and just total exhaustion. Your mind and your body literally physically react when you push yourself across 2 jobs without any boundaries. You have to shift from just absorbing all that stress to creating actual, tangible solutions. And the best solution here is what we call a minimum viable routine. Think about it. If your side hustle can expand endlessly, it absolutely will. So you must build a fixed, protective container for your hustle hours. This routine isn't about grinding every single night until 2 a.m. No way. It looks more like 45 minutes of admin on Monday, maybe 90 minutes of delivery work on Wednesday, and a couple of focused hours on Saturday. Plus, you need to protect your recovery time. Take 1 full day off every fortnight. Believe it or not, consistency within really tight constraints actually makes you way more effective than endless, boundaryless grinding. Section 4, the AI automation advantage, or as I like to call it, unlocking your cheat codes. This is where you unlock the real magic weapons of your journey. Instead of the manual grind, being that incredibly overwhelmed digital worker trying to do every little thing from scratch, you need organized, automated systems. Let's look at an entrepreneur named Emily. She built a fully automated workflow for her handmade craft store using some simple low-code tools. By automating her social media posts, sales tracking, and customer follow-ups, she literally saved 20 hours a week and somehow increased her conversion rate by 25%. That's a total game changer. And the data universally backs this up. Businesses that actively integrate AI tools, we're talking ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, alongside plug-and-play automation platforms, are seeing massive 30% to 40% boosts in productivity. So you aren't just replacing manual tasks here. You're creating highly scalable systems that maximize your passive income while you focus on the big picture. Let's move to and see how this builds into a highly actionable 3-step process. Step 1, identify your repetitive tasks, things like answering the same customer emails or managing inventory. Step 2, choose the right AI and low-code tools. And hey, you don't need to be a software developer to use visual platforms like Zapier or NN. Finally, Step 3, implement these tools for hyper-automation. This creates a scalable system that adapts as your business grows, basically doing all the heavy lifting for you while you sleep. Finally, Section 5, making the full-time leap and claiming the ultimate prize. We've finally reached the climax of our narrative. But hold on, this isn't about dramatically quitting your job in a sudden blaze of glory. It's actually about a highly calculated, staged exit strategy. So, you've built your 3 to 6 month financial buffer. Your automated workflows are humming along perfectly. You've enlisted what we call hole pokers and mentors, basically people you trust to ruthlessly question your business plans. And step 4 is absolutely vital. If you can possibly transition to part-time at your day job first, do it. The research shows that staging your exit like this can actually decrease the hazard of business failure by an incredible 33.3%. So, the crucial point to remember here is this quote: sustainable growth is better than fast growth. Scaling way too fast without those strong foundations in place almost always leads to cash flow issues and operational breakdowns. Consistency and patience, that is what sets you up for real long-term success. I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question to help audit your current setup right now. Are you building a true bridge to freedom, or have you just accidentally created a second job for yourself that you can't escape? Take a step back today, review those contracts, calculate your real break-even point, and start automating those workflows. Protect your time and go build your future on a foundation that actually lasts.